gas, exploiting and limiting its availability to Nigerians. The association's president, Oladapo Olatubosun, made the claim during a meeting with the Senate. They said the Nigerian natural liquefied gas has been consistent with its supply, but the cabals have disrupted the availability of gas to Nigerians. Olatubosun also labeled some of the marketers as the cabals who were buying the product cheaply from the source and selling it at a very high price to them. The National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) has announced Rivers as one of the most viable states with the highest internally generated revenue in 2022. In the report, the NBS also listed Lagos and the Federal Capital Territory among the most viable states with the highest internally generated revenue in 2022. In the report, Lagos generated 651 billion naira to top the list, followed by Rivers State with 172 billion naira and FCT with 124 billion naira. Moving on now, police say they have arrested 5 suspected car thieves, 3 kidnappers and 1 armed robber in River State in the past week. The State Commissioner of Police, Nwoyi Emeka, made this known during the weekly press briefing at the command headquarters in Port Harcourt yesterday. He said operatives of the Olu Obasanjo Division caught a car snatching syndicate while they were attempting to steal a vehicle from an e-hailing taxi driver on GRA axis of Port Harcourt. CP Emeka said another suspect, Samuel Chinedu, was arrested on Sam Wobodo Street last Monday with a collection of master car keys he allegedly uses for car theft.
Police arrested suspected armed robber on Sunday, 15th of October, while on routine patrol along NTA Road, Uzova, sighted a black Toyota Corolla. The car was brought to the station upon search. A locally made revolver pistol with 5.9 mm bullets and cutlasses were recovered. The suspect, Destiny Ama, male, 29 years old, has been detained while a preliminary investigation is underway.
The River State Police Commissioner also said the anti-kidnap unit recovered 3 cars stolen from a kidnapping victim in Abia State.
On 16th of October, while operative of Olu Obasanjo Division were patrolling along Presidential Junction, sighted a boat driver named Kelechi with 4 occupants. On approaching them, on suspicion of occupants being part of the notorious gangs that are usually involved on attack on boat drivers, stopped the car with the pretext that the car was faulty. The 2 armed members of the gang took to their heels while 2 were arrested. It was discovered that they were trying to snatch the vehicle.
The police commissioner said operatives from the Mile 1 Police Division arrested Tony Christopher for attempting to sell a car. He advised car owners to use pedal locks to safeguard their cars.
It is time that people begin to employ pedal lock on most of their vehicles as a way to checkmate the activities of these boys that move around with so-called master key. It's getting so rampant on this Ember month. These are not things that are expensive, but you can put it so that the pedal can be locked, so that even when there is nobody within that environment and they're able to break into the car constructively, they can't go that far.
Correspondent Emekotoka reports that during the briefing, one of the victims of the car snatching incident, Kelechi John, narrated how he was rescued by the police.
Last night I had a ride to Presidential, so that was where I ended the ride. The person got off and joined the person that was waiting for her. That was where I was when these boys they came to me. They tried to snatch my car. They collected my phone and my wristwatch. So yeah, we were struggling. They started hitting me, beating me. They wanted to use the knife on me. They tried to stab me while they were beating me. That was when I saw a patrol team driving past. So when they saw us, because we were many, they were like 5 and me, we were 6. So they flashed at us. Like when I saw them, I screamed for help. They rushed out. The men ran. I heard the 2 guys. That's how they got the 2 guys.
Moving on now, a legal practitioner, Evelyn Membere Asimiya, says every act of violence should be considered a crime and dealt with according to the law. Mrs. Membere Asimiya, who is the Deputy Country Vice President of the International Federation of Women Lawyers Nigeria, FIDA, said this in response to the incident of domestic violence in River State, where 2 women attacked their husband with hot oil and hot water.
We outrightly condemn the act, and we hope that the police would commence prosecution of the perpetrators. The fact that these persons are already damaged is a clear evidence that the women have committed the crime. We are not in any way supportive of these actions of the women, and we know that the law is capable of ensuring justice for men. We have the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act that clearly says persons, whether it's a male or female, should be protected by the law, and justice should be ensured.
Recall that Favor Wala, the woman who poured hot oil on her husband, pleaded for forgiveness, saying she attacked her husband out of anger. She made the plea just as the spokesperson for the River State Police Command, Grace Iringe Koko, said Mrs. Favor Wala will be charged to court once the investigation is concluded. Recall that her husband, Ekelederi Wankwo Wala, who sustained severe burns from the groundnut oil attack, said his wife did it while he was asleep after they argued over his decision to send away her sister for being disrespectful. Now, some Port Harcourt residents are calling for investigations into the recent recruitment exercise of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA. It followed viral photos of NDLEA recruits who looked underage. The NDLEA requirement for recruitment had stipulated a height of 5.41 feet for males and 5.24 feet for females, but those in the viral photos looked less than the required height, sparking outrage. In an interview with our correspondent, some residents accused the Anti-Narcotics Agency of recruiting minors.
NDLA recruiting a toddler when we have qualified and experienced graduates that are ready both physically, mentally, and otherwise is out of place. Those involved in this NDLA recruitment should be made to answer questions. They should be thoroughly investigated. This show of shame is uncalled for. If this were to be a nation where things work, those involved in this recruitment should have been in DSS custody.
These are our leaders. They are not helping us because graduates and they supposed to be work. They don't give them. They're going to give their relatives. This country are tired, all of us. No work, no job. Not be waiting they tell us where they want to come collect our vote.
What I expect from the government is to look into how this boy will be trained properly. But for bringing him is really a bad precedent. I think Nigerian government should with immediate effect withdraw this very employment.
But another resident, Divine Grace Okere, believes otherwise.
The world has gone beyond certification. Despite the fact that the NDLEA would recruit young teenagers, it does not remove the fact that certificates are not doing the jobs anymore. That's why there are special skills now incorporated in every certification. They might be there due to maybe influence, but they'll be trained to do the job. The government can recruit 10,000 people or more than that, but when you are actually solving a problem, you stand out in the society, they will also look for you to solve that problem that every other person is not solving.
Recall that the NDLEA said those recruits may have small bodies but are qualified, and such claims from Nigerians may amount to body shaming. In other news, INEC Chairman Mahmoud Yakubu is meeting with the chairman of political parties at the Commission's headquarters in Abuja. The meeting is part of the stakeholders' engagement scheduled by INEC ahead of the 3 off-circle governorship elections in Kogi, Bayelsa and Imo State. Professor Yakubu is expected to brief the political parties about preparations and the roles of political parties in the elections. The parties are also expected to speak to the INEC chairman about their concerns and observations ahead of the exercise. The Senate is accusing the Federal Ministry of Works, Niger Delta Development Commission, NDDC, states and local government area in the region of duplication of East-West Road project. The chairman of the Senate Ad Hoc Committee on Fact-Finding, Abdul Ahmed Ningi, said this in Ekiti, Akwa Ibom State. Senator Ningi said the Senate will convene a public hearing on the East-West Road. The federal government has received 108 Nigerian migrants stranded in Niger Republic. The Southwest Zonal Coordinator, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Alexander Oturu, said those who returned include 32 males, 29 females, 44 children and 3 infants. Mr. Oturu said their return was facilitated by the Nigerian mission in Niamey and the IOM. Still to come, parliamentary staff threaten nationwide strike. Stay with us.
When there is news, we report it.
What about conversation?
Made significant progress and is on the threshold of polio eradication. The WHO said this on its website to commemorate World Polio Day. The agency called for renewed efforts to make polio history in Africa. Meanwhile, as part of efforts to eradicate polio, free polio immunizations will be held in Rivers State today. Members of the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria, PASAN, say they will embark on a nationwide strike from Wednesday, October 25th, 2023. In a letter written to security agencies, PASAN National President Mohammed Usman said they will begin the strike if their demands are not addressed after the expiration of the 21-day ultimatum issued in September. The union demands, among other things, are that state governors should commence immediate implementation of financial autonomy for state assemblies in line with the 1999 Constitution. In business, the Advertising Regulatory Council of Nigeria has banned the production of indigenous advertisements in foreign countries. The council's Director General Olaleko Fadolabo said such would reduce unemployment and improve the national economy. In entertainment, Davido has announced December 14 as the beginning of his timeless tour, taking off from the capital city, Abuja. In sport, coach Maurice Stein has left Ajax by mutual consent after 4 months in charge. A poor start to the season has left Ajax second bottom of the league table with just one win from 7 league games.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
Thousands of women in Iceland, including Prime Minister Katrín Jakobsdóttir, are refusing to work in protest against the gender pay gap and gender-based violence. The planned walkout marks the first full-day women's strike since 1975. Women and non-binary people have been urged to refuse paid and unpaid work, including household chores.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
That's a wrap on the news this afternoon. But before we go, let's have a look at the major stories. Stakeholders in Gokana, River State, Bariyimaba is alleging plan to probe the oil spill in Kedere community without the community. The Nigerian Bureau of Statistics has listed River State as one of the most viable states in Nigeria. The police have arrested some suspected car thieves, others in River State. The Senate is accusing government and the NDDC of duplicating the East-West Road project. Members of the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria are threatening a nationwide strike from Wednesday. And on the foreign scene, Iceland Prime Minister, thousands of other women have refused to work in protest against gender pay gap and gender-based violence. The news was edited by Onyeka Chimwosu. You can see pictures or watch videos of news stories when you like us on Facebook and follow us on X at Nigeria Info PH. On Instagram, it's at Nigeria Info FM_PH. For any eyewitness report and breaking news, text and send your WhatsApp pictures and videos to our news desk line on 0808 721 7215. Peace is a part to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. I am Ifechukwu Moyoli. Have a wonderful afternoon.